So India has done a great job in terms of ethnic foods and staples, and then the ready-to-eat food. Health and wellness is an area that's growing very well now these days. There's a still untapped category is called whey protein. So exporter has to be learned in terms of not only for the export point of view, retail point of view as well.
Hello and welcome to India's Food Elite. I'm Richa Jain Kalra. In this show, we are going to talk about B2B supply chains and the procurement that is happening from India big time, how Indian manufacturers are feeding the global supply chains, and what are the issues there. I have a very seasoned procurement specialist with us from the GCC Gulf region, Mr. Pankaj Sajdani. He represents Choith Rams. Thank you so much, Mr. Sajdani, for coming to the show.
Thank you very much.
When we talk about Choith Rams, which is very active and spread out in Dubai and GCC areas, what would you define as your success mantra, which has led you to reach where you are?
See, as in Chotanam, if I talk about, we are the pioneer retailer in this region, GCC region. We started in 1975, our first retail store. In this whole journey, we saw that all the changes are happen. We adopt the hybrid models. We have brick and mortar stores. We have online channels now. We have dark stores. We have quick commerce as well. For this success story and procuring all the import segment from the different part of world, we keep a relationship, long-term relation with our all the partners. We always guide him in terms of all the compliance is required for the GCC point of view. Time to time basis, the gap analysis we are explaining to our partners. This way, the success story came when you keep a long-term relationship with the local suppliers.
If we talk about your global presence, how much of it do you source from India, from Indian brands?
See, there is a one we evaluate the data in a such a way that we have a food of the world one category. In this category, we are keeping all the different part of world's assortment with the separate, you can say, merchandise category to track it. So if you track by this category, so first is Philippines, followed by the India, followed by the Thai, Korea, and Russia. Each type of, you can say, all the countries are there. So India is now in a second ranking because population is India more, but ability is also there. So India has done a great job in terms of ethnic foods and staples, and then the ready-to-eat food. And the gap is basically India has to build more in this healthy segment and some extent to the eco product, because now people are aware about that, the health conscious way. And the pet food also is an untapped area for the Indian suppliers. They can do very well in this.
I want to focus now on the speciality of Indian foods, Indian raw materials, ingredients that you source from India. Which are the hot selling products among those?
See, if we talk about India, mainly we are doing in a rice island flour. We have our own private label called Goodness too, where we are producing rice in this different type of rice. We have a retail private label also available in the rice. While we are procuring from a different part of world here in also. But idea is a big key factor to bring all the imports on the India for the oil. But
When we talk about the health conscious consumer, or you talked about the keto thing, the organic food that is gaining a lot of traction. So, how do you see the growth of that internationally, and how is India coping up?
health and wellness is an area that's growing very well now these days. And India is also pitching very well in the different categories. Yes, there's a still untapped category is called whey protein. It is available in the market, but India has to be cope up in very well in this area. But other areas, if you talk about organic or staples, they are already available over there, and they are doing very good job, I guess.
What are the gaps that you see in the Indian space and matching up to the global standards? Because there have been issues with some leading brands with spices. Where do you think the gaps are, and do you think the Indian government is doing enough to address those gaps?
But somebody is doing the export, they have to understand all the compliances in terms of GCC, because the compliance are very country to country. If you talk about Dubai, there is halal certificate, health certificate, these are required, key colors are required. So exporter has to be learned in terms of not only for the export point of view, retail point of view as well. What packing is going on, which size they required, which customer base they have. So India is doing very well in this, that they understand day-to-day basis what is compliance required for the different countries.
So at Indus Food, we see a lot of international buyers also meeting people over here who are selling. Uh, how do you see the opportunity shaping the Indian F&B sector?
See, industry is doing a good job. It is a basically bridge it between the kids, all the international. India's
Been here earlier?
Yeah, 3 years I'm down the line. This is my third time I'm coming here. All the Indian manufacturers are beginning with all the global retailers. So the India's food is doing good job. It then still will be the gap to cover. And then when we are coming here, we are looking at the new HPDs, gap analysis, and then on top of that existing business also we can give it awareness to the all the manufacturer here. These are the new compliances that are there. You have to adopt very quick.
When we talk of innovation in the food and agribusiness space, where do you think the competition lies? Where is the opportunity, the potential in the next coming few years?
See, main is health and wellness as an area where we have a potential, and then healthy areas in terms of organic, keto, free from, TME free, these type of things, gluten free area is the best field. There the gap is there. We can do much more till this.
When we talk about the clean labels, what is it that you look for? Because some misinformation is there. Sourcing the right ingredients, having it processed in the right way is a key issue. So, what do you look for when you look for health conscious, clean, or organic labels?
When we talk about the organic level, main things are basically it should be matched with the quality. What the international level of quality is there. All the ingredients also match with the international brands, top ranking brands. If that quality is coming with the economical price, so it's good for the private label. So for 2026, our focus is more to the private label also, because that is called challenger brand for us to fight with the national brands or either the best brands. So we are mapping with this quality, but the price per system should be lower than the 20% of the national brands minimum. So this way we are evaluating as for the private level and retail level.
In terms of ethics, while sourcing in B2B supply, what are the issues that you think need to be addressed?
Sourcing, when we are sourcing, all the buyers has to
I'm talking about as an industry, not just you as a brand.
no. Correctly you said that all the buyers has to be update all the manufacturer, all the when they are doing the business with all the long the partners. They are afraid and these are the compliance has to be fulfilled and timely basis has to be updated, and the relation should be long term. While they are exporting and we are importing, we have to keep a lead time also, because sometimes lead times are bigger enough. So we have to make a order in such a way that that logistics is not to be disturbed and we are not going to be out of stock.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sajnani, for sharing your thoughts and telling us about the GCC region, which is witnessing a lot of growth for Indian F&B industry.
Thank you so much, ma'am.